Can Bitcoin, or any cryptocurrency for that matter, replace fiat currencies? That depends on what the value of these currencies are, whether it's Bitcoin or a fiat currency. The problem with fiat currency is that it has no backing, it has no intrinsic value. And the way you can define an intrinsic value is to think, if you have a piece of paper which is called a currency, if no one in the world wants that piece of paper, let's call that piece of paper Zimbabwean dollar. If no one wants that piece of paper, does it have any value to you? If you have that piece of paper and nobody wants it, what can you do? What can you do with it? Intrinsic value, if you think about things that actually have intrinsic value, think about a piece of land, right? If you have a piece of property, a piece of land that nobody really wants it, can you do something with it? The answer is yes. You can grow food on that piece of land, you can build a house on that piece of land, you can just have a tent on that piece of land, or you can use it as a parking. There are lots of things that you can do with a piece of land, even if nobody in the world wants it. And of course, if nobody wants it, then the price is zero, but it still has value to you. That's why Warren Buffett says, price is what you pay, value is what you get. These two are very, very different. Gold. Why gold has intrinsic value? Well, because if nobody wants your gold, there are still stuff that you can do with it. Gold is the best conductor of electricity. That's why your laptop needs gold. That's why your cell phone needs gold. Silver has intrinsic value. There are a lot of goods or services or intangible goods that have intrinsic value. And the reason that you know that it has intrinsic value is that if nobody in the world wants it, it still has value to you personally. Well, does currency have any value? Any intrinsic value? What if you have this Zimbabwean dollar, as we said earlier, and nobody wants it? What can you do with it? The answer is nothing, right? Because it has no backing, it has no intrinsic value. That's why it's called fiat currency. Fiat currency is a currency that has no intrinsic value because there's nothing backing it up. So if nobody wants your Zimbabwean dollar, it has no value. And same goes basically for every currency in the world. If nobody wants the currency, it has no value. The value is zero. There's nothing that you can do with any currency. At the end of the day, they're all just a piece of paper with some pictures on them. So if people believe that it doesn't have any value, and if nobody wants it, then it has no intrinsic value. So now the question that you need to ask yourself is, does Bitcoin have any intrinsic value? With the definition that we just went through right now, if no one wants Bitcoin and you own Bitcoin, in that case, the price will be zero. Again, assuming that nobody wants it, right? You can dispute whether people are going to want it in the future or not. But if nobody wants the Bitcoin and you have the Bitcoin, what can you do with it? If you answer that question, then you'll know whether Bitcoin has intrinsic value or not.